These terrifying Baba Vanga prophecies will likely come true this year. Shattering earthquakes she predicted have already happened, so let's go over the rest of them. The destruction of Europe. As catastrophic earthquake shakes nations across the globe, more and more people are recalling the ominous prophecies of Baba Vanga. Now, the blind Bulgarian clairvoyant who has gained popularity for her incredible talent to predict global events, as basically her prophecies for 2025 have come out and in specific are starting to get scarily close to reality. Baba Vanga, known as the Nostradamus of the Balkans, reportedly predicted a massive catastrophic war between the West and the East, which would lead to the destruction of Europe. She believed that the war would begin in the East and spread to the West, causing insane damage, leading to a devastated continent with a decimated population and the rise of Russia as a dominant global force. Now, Baba predicted that Europe will be plagued by war, and on top of that, she also predicted that Europe will face severe natural disasters, including earthquakes, floods, and even fires. Now, these disasters will contribute to the continent's downfall, and according to Baba, Europe's economy will collapse, leading to widespread poverty and unrest. Now, Baba also predicted that Islam will play a significant role in the destruction of Europe. She believed the Muslim immigrants will flood into Europe, leading to, cultural and religious clashes. Now, Baba also believed that Russia would play a key role in the destruction of Europe, leading to just a massive war. Contact with extraterrestrial life. According to Baba Vanga, humanity would make contact with aliens in 2025, potentially leading to a global crisis or apocalypse. Now, with the increasing interest in space exploration, this prophecy has sparked intense debate. Baba predicted that humans will make contact with ETs by the end of 2025. Now, she believed that this contact will be a significant event that will change the course of human history. This one excites me because I've always believed in aliens and I want them to come here, so I just want to see what would happen. Baba also believed that space exploration will play a crucial role in humanity's contact with aliens, and she predicted that humans will explore the cosmos and encounter various forms of life. According to Baba, the aliens that humans encounter will be unlike anything we have ever seen before. She actually described them as being tall with large heads and large eyes. So picture, if you will, the lanky one from the movie Signs, good movie by the way, and Baba also predicted that humans will be able to communicate with the aliens through telepathy, which is basically, communicating through your mind without talking. Now, she said this will be a key aspect of the encounter. Baba's prophecies of this suggest that contact with aliens will have significant consequences for humanity, and she predicted that this event will lead to a new era of human evolution and will change the way we understand the universe. Baba Vanga's earthquake prophecy has been unfolding. Her prediction for the year 2025 was that major earthquakes would devastate the world. Her vision appears to be unfolding as recently Myanmar was hit by a 7.7 magnitude earthquake that has perished more than 2,000 lives, and the country is already embroiled in a civil war, according to reports. Now, the military leadership there has declared a week of national mourning after the disaster, and the UN issued an urgent appeal for 6.2 billion to support due to the worsening, humanitarian crisis. Now, the tremors of the earthquake did not end in Myanmar, though. They also struck neighboring Thailand, where at least 20 individuals have been confirmed passed. Now, the capital city, Bangkok, also suffered badly. As per reports, even the United States was not exempt, as Nevada saw a series of earthquakes, with the strongest having a magnitude of 4.0. Experts are forecasting a 27% possibility of further powerful quakes within the next week, according to reports, so be careful. Development of telepathy. Now, Baba Vanga foresaw the development of telepathy, which enables people to communicate directly through their minds. She basically suggested that by 2025, humans might develop the ability to communicate directly through our thoughts, which, revolutionizes how people interact with each other. While we're not yet at that level, advancements in brain-computer interfaces and neurotechnology bring this prophecy closer to reality. Baba predicted that humans will develop the ability to communicate with each other through telepathy, which would allow people to actually read and transmit their thoughts and feelings directly from one mind to another. And according to Baba, the development of telepathy will be made possible by advances in brain-computer interfaces, which is also better known as BCIs. Now, BCIs will enable people to control devices with their minds and communicate with each other telepathically. So if you remember the movie Matilda, now Baba Vanga's prophecies suggest that the development of telepathy will be driven by advances in neurotechnology, including the development of implantable brain chips and neural prosthetics. Now, Baba predicted that the development will have have a profound impact on society, revolutionizing the way we communicate, work, and just simply interact with each other. Scientific and medical breakthroughs. The Mystic predicted significant scientific and medical advancements for 2025, including breakthroughs in nanotechnology, including advancements in lab-grown organs and cancer treatment, potentially leading to cures. That's good. However, she also warned about the potential dangers of misusing these technologies. Baba Vanga, foresaw the development of technology to grow human organs in a laboratory, which could revolutionize organ transplantation and potentially save millions, billions of lives. She predicted significant advancements in cancer treatment, potentially leading to a cure for the disease, and some interpretations suggest she predicted breakthroughs in treating chronic illnesses and revolutionary advancements in genetic therapies. A new era of global unrest and conflict in the East in the spring of 2025. Baba Vanga's prophecies often spoke of a world in turmoil. For 2025, she predicted a year of great upheaval, with global events leading to widespread chaos and destruction. According to reports, Baba predicted that a conflict would erupt in the East in the spring of 2025 with far-reaching consequences for the West. She warned of a large-scale destruction, fueling speculation about potential geopolitical tensions. One of Baba Vanga's most intriguing prophecies suggests that Russian President Vladimir Putin will play a crucial role in shaping global affairs. She reportedly predicted that Russia would survive and dominate while Europe faces significant mass destruction. Now, although interpretations of this prophecy vary, it continues to fuel speculation about the region's future. Skeptics may view such prophecies with doubt, of course, but amid the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, her predictions carry a very sobering weight. This aligns with past warnings from former UK Defense Secretary Grant Shapps, who declared that, the era of the peace dividend is over, highlighting Russia along with China, Iran, and North Korea as potential drivers of significant global unrest in the coming years. While some have disputed the interpretations of her prophecies, the blind mystic has amassed a cult following who firmly believe in her unique ability to foresee the future. One of her more alarming forecasts for 2025 pertains to natural disasters. After a very tumultuous 2024 filled with storms and hurricanes, floods, and wildfires, Vanga predicts that destructive earthquakes and other natural disasters will wreak havoc across the globe for 2025. She specifically mentions an earthquake along the west coast of the US. Now, the seer foresees these events resulting in loss of human life, mass displacement, and ruined infrastructure. To give you all a little treat, I'll share some of her future predictions briefly. In 2028, Baba predicts the exploration of Venus. Humans will begin to explore Venus as an energy source. It's worth noting that, the second planet from the sun is inhospitable and nothing can actually grow there. Now, in 2023, she predicts a melting of the ice caps. She reportedly foresaw that the polar ice caps will melt, raising sea levels to drastic heights worldwide. In 2043, she predicts Europe will be under Muslim governance, and in 2076, she predicts the return of communism. Now, in 2170, she predicts a global drought, and she said that climate change will continue to ravage the planet and a drought will devastate much of the world. Now, by 3005, she predicts the Martian War. Earth will go to war with a civilization on Mars. There's no further information on who kicked things off, but we're betting it's probably us and not the Martians. And we're not the friendliest of species anyway, so let's face those facts. Now, by 3797, she predicts the end of the world, part 1. The Earth will no longer be able to support life, meaning the humans that have survived the Martian War will have to vacate the Earth because it has become uninhabitable. By 5079, that is the end of the world, part 2. That's her prediction. For real this time. The end of everything. The grand finale. The world ends. So there we have it. Sorry if that depressed you, but hey, literally none of us will be here by 5079 to see the end, so there's that silver lining.
Number 5, global warming. Well, who doesn't fear that? So this year, Nostradamus predicted that temperatures would rise further and sea levels would rise to unexpected levels. He wrote, "Like the sun, the head shall see, or the shining sea, the black seas, living fish shall all but boil. When Rhodes and Genoa half-starved shall be, the local folk to cut them up shall toil." Look, I believe this one, seeing as, back in October there was a weekend where it was super warm one night and then freezing the next. I was working outdoors, and the drastic change in temperatures massively confused my brain. And also, just like hot and cold, headache city. With the current cost of living crisis and global warming on the rise, Civil unrest could also reach new heights. Nostradamus also said, "Sooner and later you will see great changes made, dreadful horrors and vengeance." Also, in addition, the trumpet shakes with great discord. An agreement broken, lifting the face to heaven, the mouth will swim with redness, the face anointed with milk, and honey lies on the ground. So this prediction implies that a revolt against the wealthy may occur as people fight back against the deteriorating economy. Yes, it might not be end of the world, but hey, where do I sign up? Seriously, the price of gas, rent, and groceries is completely ridiculous right now. I was excited last night that my grocery bill was under $200 for one person. Number 4, human birth in laboratories. Yep, somebody out there predicted that human spawn would be born in labs where their physical appearance and character can be controlled, completely altering the process of birth. So, who predicted this, might you ask? This wild prediction comes to us courtesy of famed mystic Baba Vanga. For those who might be unaware, she was a Bulgarian mystic and herbalist who passed away in 1996 and predicted her own death, the death of Princess Diana, and more. She became blind early in life and spent most of her life in the Rupite area of the Koza Mountains in Bulgaria. In the late 70s and early 80s, she was widely known in Eastern Europe for her abilities of clairvoyance and precognition. Before she passed, she left a list of predictions until the year 5079. Now look, I can hear you doubting me and also, why is this the end of the world? Don't worry, I'll get to it. Just pause. In December of last year, a new conceptual facility named Ectolife made some major waves in the news. Oh, why is that, you ask? So they're advertising themselves as the world's first ever artificial womb facility, offering a way for parents to produce customized offspring. Yet this isn't The Sims, it's not like a video game. It's reality. This concept is thanks to Hashem Al-Ghaili, who is a science communicator and molecular biologist by trade. The concept of Ectolife is allegedly based on over 50 years of groundbreaking scientific research. The facility would run on renewable energy and plans to house 75 labs, each equipped with up to 400 growth pods or artificial wombs, which are designed to provide the same environment that is present inside, well, a womb. Parents will be able to keep track of their little one's growth and development through a screen on the pods that showcases real-time data, and that data will also be available to monitor through an app, because we all need apps these days. The artificial intelligence-based system can be used to monitor the physical features of the little one and will report any potential genetic abnormalities. During the time of delivery, the youngling can be removed from the pod with the push of a button. Now, Hashem believes the artificial womb facilities could become a reality in 10 years or so if ethical restrictions are removed, claiming that every feature mentioned in the concept is 100% science-based and has already been achieved by scientists and engineers. And hey, if that isn't good enough for you, he's also promising an elite package that would allow people to genetically engineer the embryo before implanting it into the artificial womb, which this is all starting to get a little too sci-fi horror for my liking, in my personal opinion. Parents will be able to select their spawn's level of intelligence, height, hair, eye color, physical strength, and skin tone. Oh, and somehow it's also going to let parents fix any inherited genetic diseases, and as somebody with ADHD, I would like to know more on that. Ectolife's goal is apparently to provide an option for parents to have little ones without ever going through pregnancy or even conception. Hashem claims the artificial womb facility could help countries facing the problem of a declining population such as Japan, Bulgaria, and South Korea, among others. It will also aim to facilitate infertile couples to become parents of their own biological offspring. Look, before my eyes roll out of my head, we're getting close. Some folks who consider themselves experts have been consulted in this and claim the technology isn't that far-fetched and could become a reality in the future. For example, Andrew Shannon, a professor of obstetrics, has said that from a theoretical standpoint, it's possible. It's just a matter of providing a correct environment with fuel and oxygen, and he thinks the technologies are there to be able to achieve it. He's mentioned that there are a lot of examples where, little ones come out of the womb extremely early and are very well looked after in incubators, which he compared to this alleged technology. Look, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little skeptical, very skeptical about this and just how ableist it sounds, but let me know in the comments what you all think of this possibility. And before anybody asks, once again, how could this be related to the end of the world? How could it not? With that kind of technology? Seriously? Nobody's gonna use it for evil? Number 3, the AI revolution. So this is the one listing on today's list that actually came from a combination of Nostradamus and ChatGPT. And this is where I admit I'm not any kind of AI overall expert. The AI warned that humans might fall into fear and anxiety of the artificial intelligence revolution in the year 2060. The prediction says, specifically, in 2060, robots and machines will develop. It will be a vibrant revolution. Industries must be reshaped all over the world. But fear and anxiety will also loom, as jobs and futures are lost. A person must adapt and learn again to coexist with and penetrate technology. Oh, that's just terrifying. Learn to coexist with? I have a feeling it's not talking about simply introducing grandparents to how a smartphone works. Hey look, before recently, all I knew about ChatGPT was the occasional meme. And I had a friend once ask me if I used it to write what I chat about, and no. I promise you all, these are my words, my fumbles, my little, isms. Yes, I'm the kind of gal who will say stuff like cripes and Euclid on a regular basis. Trust me, ask any of my friends. You might be asking, okay Alex, that's cute and all, but how is it relevant to the end of the world? Well, has anybody seen iRobot? Or done any research on ChatGPT? For the folks like me who had no idea on what the heck the basis of ChatGPT was until now, allow me to share what I've learned. So ChatGPT, which is short for Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer, was developed by OpenAI and launched on November 30th of 2022. So it's not even a year old yet. The goal of the, existence of this thing is to enable users to refine and steer a conversation towards a desired length, format, style, level of detail, and language used. Successive prompts and replies are taken into account at each stage of the conversation as a context. Now by January earlier this year, it had become the fastest growing consumer software application in history, gaining over 100 million users. That's a lot of people. Within months, Google, Baidu, and Meta accelerated the development of their competing products. Palm-E, ErnieBot, and Llama? Some folks have expressed concern over the potential of ChatGPT to displace or atrophy human intelligence, and I'm on that team for sure. Oh, going back to mentioning iRobot, because I sure as heck wasn't going to leave that as a statement without a follow-up. If that movie taught me anything, other than, how underrated Alan Tudyk is as an actor, it's that over-reliance and giving way too much agency to AI technology is gonna cause the end of the world, in a cluster mess of epic proportions. Seriously. In addition, the TikTok account Robot Overlords claims to have asked AI how it's going to take over the world. Because, that's not going to produce any kind of nightmares whatsoever. The TikToker hasn't clearly stated which AI was used to generate the images that they used, but they did use the hashtag DALL-E2, so I'm assuming it's the same bot, that has been known for making alien predictions. I don't like that. Not a fan. Number 2, a possible change in the Earth's orbit. So, did the path that the Earth takes around the sun alter this year? And according to Baba Vanga, it might be doing just that. So yes, we're going back to her. I know a lot of the same people that are making the prophecies. I promise, they're credible. So this is a particular intriguing prophecy and one that would have ramifications for us all. Yes, it might be a little more far-fetched, but come on, it's terrifying. So, for reference, our planet travels 584 million miles around the sun every year, an epic voyage that is shaped like an oval rather than a perfect circle. The precise shape of the oval is influenced by other planets' gravitational forces. To take all the sciencey stuff away, the Earth's orbit can and actually does shift. However, such changes usually take place across many thousands of years. The effects of even subtle, slow changes can be severe. So for example, it's been theorized that an orbital shift contributed to the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum. The period of intense global warming that took place almost 56 million years ago. The dinosaurs. Ringing any bells? If a radical shift occurred over the course of a single year, for whatever reason though, the effects would be apocalyptic. You can see why scientists are a little afraid, eh? There might be soaring temperatures and radiation levels with terrible environmental consequences. And that's putting aside the possibility that the orbital shift hinted at by Baba Vanga might be caused by an asteroid impact, which could well be an extinction level event. Look, I love dinosaurs as much as the next person. I really do. I love my ankylosauruses, but I really don't want to repeat their history. And I don't do well in extreme heat at all. The reason this prophecy made today's list, even though it technically hasn't been proven by science yet, we know scientists are afraid, it's also because of just how warm the world has been this year compared to years past. I know I've mentioned it in detail already today, but honest to goodness, I'm afraid, scientists are afraid, you should be afraid. Number 1, a solar storm. So one of the most alarming predictions from, once again, Baba Vanga herself has to do with a solar storm which could have catastrophic consequences. For reference, the term solar storm can refer to several phenomena on the sun's surface, including solar flares and coronal mass ejections. The latter are vast eruptions of plasma that are capable of reaching the Earth, causing geomagnetic storms that could potentially fry power grids and, cause widespread havoc. No big. The most dramatic example in recorded history was the Carrington event of 1859. Named after British astronomer Richard Carrington, it knocked out telegraph networks and even caused fires and electric shocks. If such an event were to happen today, in our very electrified world, the effects on communications, services, and everyday lives would be almost unfathomable. Experts believe the damage to worldwide infrastructures could lead to blackouts that last for years, triggering societal chaos and causing financial markets to go into a tailspin that would dwarf anything seen before. So I hate to say it, but this prediction is already sort of coming true. Based on observations made by Dr. Erica Palmerio, a research specialist who specializes in this sort of thing, there's a magnetic filament near the equator of the sun that's currently bustling with a huge amount of magnetic field lines. This means that it can soon erupt and send another wave of solar storm towards our planet. The presence of such powerful streamers is an indication of the increased solar activity, which was not predicted by many forecasters for solar cycle 25. If this streamer goes out, it will release a huge amount of radiation and magnetic energy that can disrupt shortwave radio communication on Earth and cause a dangerous solar solar storm. We've already had 2 severe geomagnetic storms this year, the most recent being on April 21st when a coronal mass ejection, or CME for short, erupted from the sun, spewing out a burst of plasma that raced towards Earth at nearly 2 million miles per hour. Once again, 2 million miles. We get more of that, it's the end for all of us.
Number 5 on this list is the rise of artificial intelligence. The moon in the full of night over the high mountain, the new sage with a lone brain sees it. By his disciples invited to be immortal, eyes to the south, hands in bosoms, bodies in the fire. That was a poem from the one and only Nostradamus. Probably the most famous prophesizer of all time, if that's even a thing. Nostradamus was a French astrologer and seer and is most known for his work called the Prophecies, where he pops the heck off and prophesizes pretty much the entire world's future. This poetic quatrain that I read is from that book, and people believe it to be in reference to artificial intelligence taking over. Right now, AI is definitely the craze. Pretty much any billionaire who's anybody is currently investing insane amounts of money into AI, thinking it'll be the way of the future. At the same time though, a lot of them are coming out and warning us about how dangerous this could be when AI is able to get consciousness. Well, in this poem, Nostradamus says the new sage with a lone brain sees it, and people think that's in reference to AI getting consciousness. This is the new sage and it can only know. Then he goes on to say that there are bodies in the fire and all that jazz, and that just really doesn't sound like a fun time at all. Experts still think that we're a ways away from getting AI to reach full consciousness, but they're pretty much all in agreement that it's going to happen one day. They're also pretty much in agreement that computers and robots will be smarter than humans because they can just take in more information and process data way quicker than we would ever be able to. Comment down below when you think AI is going to start causing serious problems for humans. Is it in 2022 or do we still have a bit more time left? Number 4 on this list is the rapture. The rapture is another one of those doomsday predictions that's been thrown around for what seems like ever. According to Wikipedia, the rapture is an eschatological theological position held by some Christians, particularly within branches of American evangelicalism, consisting of an end-time event when all Christian believers who are alive, along with resurrected believers, would rise in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. Basically what this means is that for those devout Christian followers, life is going to get pretty awesome, but for everyone else, life on earth is going to suck. People have speculated that the earth would turn into a hell-like place where demons roam the streets. As you can probably imagine, this would be pretty bad and wouldn't be the greatest existence ever. The rapture has been discussed as a possibility for years now, but the most recent claim has it pegged for 2028. Granted, this is always changing, and it feels like at any given year, someone is prophesizing that the rapture could be coming. At this rate, it feels like it could come tomorrow, but nobody really knows. If the rapture was to happen though, no reason to think that 2022 couldn't be the year. Number 3 is an asteroid. Now, an asteroid hitting Earth has been talked about as a potential doomsday world-ending scenario for pretty much as long as we've been aware of asteroids. We've talked a lot about this on this channel before, and depending on the size of asteroid, the entire planet could be totally wiped out. In fact, this has gotten some more attention in pop culture recently with the movie Don't Look Up. Starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence, the whole movie is about a massive asteroid coming to Earth and potentially killing all of us if it hits. Well, according to the Messiah Foundation International, we only have a few years left before this becomes a sad and terrifying reality. 2026 is the year to mark on the calendar, folks, only 4 years from now. Riaz Ahmad Gohar Shadi was a spiritual leader who's credited with starting up the Messiah Foundation International. He wrote a book called The Religion of God, and in that book he's predicted 2026 as being the year the world is going to get hit with a massive celestial object. This object would be big enough to destroy the whole planet and all life on Earth. Now, I looked into this prophecy, and from what I found, I think we should be okay. Most experts who study space think that we have quite some time before we need to start worrying about such things. The closest thing that we're currently aware of is an asteroid called 2010 RF12. This is apparently the asteroid with the highest probability of hitting Earth, with about a 5% chance of doing so. However, this also isn't supposed to occur until 2095, giving us plenty of time to prepare. Now, I'm gonna be honest, who really knows with this stuff? Space is pretty crazy and we're learning new things every day. Maybe there is an asteroid we're unaware of, or that scientists haven't revealed to the public that's coming to Earth, and for that reason I suppose that this prophecy might happen. But if it does, then at least we still have 4 years to plan for it, and hopefully we'll just avoid it altogether. Number 2 on this list is World War III. This is something that hasn't just been prophesized by one person, but by multiple. However, if we did want to put this on one guy, then our main man Nostradamus is back at it again because he's been noted as predicting a third world war in 2022. A great article by the Daily Record talks about this possibility when they write, "There are serious concerns over a possible global war in the coming year, and one possible cause could be the ongoing tensions between China and Taiwan. The incursions from nuclear-capable Chinese warplanes has ratcheted up tensions over the tiny US-backed island. Relations between the two nations are at the worst in 40 years, Taiwan's defense minister said at the end of last year. Western allies of Taiwan have expressed their concern at China's open display of military might, and it's widely feared any form of armed confrontation could quickly escalate into a global conflict. Meanwhile, Russia has reportedly approved plans for urgent mass graves amid fears a war could break out after an invasion of Ukraine. Russian outlet MK say that the burial sites were constructed as a priority after they allegedly appeared on leaked legal documents that are expected to come into force on February 1st. Those are just some of the possible scenarios where something major could start, but there are also tons of other areas in the world in disarray right now where I could see something horrible taking place. All it would require is a few frustrated people deciding to push the button, and then bam, we're at a place of no return and might damage our planet beyond repair. Hopefully all of this won't come to fruition, and those who have the power to send us into war will exercise their power to also keep us out of it. Number 1 on this list is a lethal virus. Known as the Nostradamus of the Balkans, the blind mystic Baba Vanga has some very scary things coming in 2022 for humans. One of the worst ones, and probably most triggering at this point, is a massive lethal virus attacking Earth. After several years of being in a pandemic, I think it's safe to say that humans are pretty tired of lethal diseases. Baba Vanga isn't holding back on us though, and she expects this one to be really bad. It's apparently going to come from Siberia and will all start due to global warming. Now this honestly might not be that far off at all, which makes it that much more scarier. Guarantee BBVA writes, in August 2016, in a remote corner of Siberian tundra called the Yamal Peninsula in the Arctic Circle, an individual died and at least 20 people were hospitalized after being infected by anthrax. The theory is that over 75 years ago, a reindeer infected with anthrax died and its frozen carcass became trapped under a layer of frozen soil known as permafrost. There it stayed until a heat wave in the summer of 2016 when the permafrost thawed. This exposed the reindeer corpse and released infectious anthrax into nearby water and soil and then into the food supply. More than 2,000 reindeer grazing nearby became infected, which then led to the small number of human cases. The fear is that this will not be an isolated case. As the Earth warms, more permafrost will melt. Under normal circumstances, superficial permafrost layers about 50 centimeters deep melt every summer. But now global warming is gradually exposing older permafrost layers. Frozen permafrost soil is the perfect place for bacteria to remain alive for very long periods of time, perhaps as long as 1 million years. That means melting ice could potentially open up a Pandora's box of diseases. So Baba Vanga might sadly be onto something here, and that could just be horrible. There could be diseases that are frozen that we just don't know anything about and might absolutely ravage the population. Honestly guys, we just need to pray that our immunities can hold up if something like this did ever happen.
Coming in hot at number 5 is the rapture, a true vintage as far as doomsday prophecies go. The rapture is a belief in Christian faith held by few, notably an American evangelical belief, referring to an apocalyptic level event that describes the day Jesus returns, which will be heralded by the pious, righteous believers being ascended to the heavens to sit up in the clouds and clink glasses with Tupac and Elvis, while those that remain will have to fend for themselves on the desecrated earth, which will be taken over by the Antichrist and his army of demons. Although when I describe it like that, it makes it sound a lot more like it's the plot to Doom. The rapture has no specific date, instead sort of existing in a it'll happen when it happens kind of state, which means it's great for making predictions of, because roughly once a week, someone will say we've got the rapture coming and thankfully be proven wrong. But the way things have been going lately, it's hard not to believe it could be coming anytime soon. We've got plagues, war, I think we just need conquest and famine, and we've got ourselves all the horsemen of the apocalypse neatly lined up outside a stable. To take a quick second to lighten your load, if you've been liking what we do at Top 5 Scary, why not toss a little subscribe our way? I promise we don't only talk about end of days prophecies. We keep it scary, but we keep it light. Number 4. Baba Vanga was a blind Bulgarian clairvoyant, famous for several predictions, a lot of which have worryingly come true. For example, many people believe she accurately predicted Princess Diana's passing, the September attacks, and the 2004 tsunami. Although Baba Vanga passed away in 1994, she left us with several worrying predictions for the future. She claimed in 2022 that we would experience another pandemic, as researchers would uncover a virus in Siberia, and there would be flooding and drought across the world, a famine in India due to temperature drops causing locust storms, and concerningly a virtual reality takeover. Already we've seen some examples of this coming true. The UK experienced the driest summer it had ever been since the 30s, being declared an official drought in August. France, Italy, and Portugal have all experienced record-breaking droughts as well this year. She predicted specifically Australia would experience a flood, and in July of 2022, Sydney experienced 4 months worth of rain in just 4 days, leading to flooding. So, okay. Some of the blind clairvoyance predictions are coming true. That's stressful, but what does she have for her future? Well, don't start buying lottery tickets just yet, because Baba doesn't have anything too welcoming. She predicted that by 2023, Earth will change orbit, and by 2046, people will be living for hundreds of years through advanced technology. That part I don't mind so much. I wouldn't mind some robot hands. By 2100, she believed that the Earth's orbit will have changed sufficiently that the Earth will have moved too far, and an eternal night will fall over the sky. Not to worry though, she predicted for us that the Earth and mankind as a whole would end by 5079. So it's only, nearly 3,000 years of dark suffering. Absolutely great for the vampires, terrible for us. Number 3. We all have an opinion on Elon Musk, I'm sure. Me personally, I still haven't forgiven him for breaking up with Grimes, and Grimes, if you're watching, I'm open. Regardless of whether you think Musk is a brilliant mind or just a moron with a Twitter account, he's been very outspoken about his fear of AI, warning that by the year 2025, things are going to get unstable or weird, in his own words. He's spoken out about it for years, opining that something needs to be done or regulated on an international level. Maybe that's why the guy is so eager to get off the planet and get onto a spaceship to Mars. This is something he is very passionate about, warning us that it's going to affect our lives in ways we can't even imagine. We are the first species capable of self-annihilation. It's hard to disagree. I mean, just in our lifetime, AI has already accelerated to technology once only thought possible in sci-fi. And if I have to be completely honest, not to be too pessimistic, I don't know if I trust humanity to be that responsible with technology. If you need some comfort though, and you're looking for a reason to not toss Siri into a blender just yet, Musk also claimed in 2011 that he would put a man on Mars by 2021, and I don't remember anyone talking about that too much, so he's not right all the time. However, Musk isn't the only notable tech figure who was concerned about AI. Stephen Hawking spoke out in 2017 and claimed that if left unchecked, AI could be the worst event in the history of our civilization. It brings dangers like powerful autonomous weapons or new ways for the few to oppress the many. I don't know about you, but if one of the smartest men to have ever been on Earth says that we should probably be careful for AI for fear of creating a machine race, Skynet, or maybe something that's going to put us all in the Matrix, maybe it's something to consider, Maybe not everything needs a Wi-Fi connection. Number 2, pretty much since we built the nuclear bombs, we have been deeply concerned that we're going to all use them on each other. I don't think anyone involved with nuclear weapons thinks we're going to get up to anything good with them, unless you are a really big Fallout fan and you have just been itching for a chance to roam the wasteland and fight feral ghouls. In 1947, the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists created the doomsday clock as a graphic reminder of how eerily close we might be at any minute towards complete annihilation. As the hand inches towards midnight, it represents how close we are at any given moment to nuclear winter. As of this video, we are currently sitting at 100 seconds to midnight. It stood at 100 seconds for 3 years, but as the Bulletin's official website reads, steady is not good news. It means we haven't been taking it seriously enough yet. The Bulletin urges the Russian and US presidents to identify comprehensive, actionable solutions on limiting nuclear weapon delivery systems, as well as seeking to eliminating the sole authority of launching a nuclear weapon falling in a single leader's hands, urging countries with nuclear capabilities to do the same. The demand to control nuclear weapons has been more relevant than it has in years, with growing fears all over. Full-scale nuclear conflict is one of the most real and present dangers facing humanity, And really, all it takes is one to set off a chain of dominoes none of us can come back from. Except cockroaches. They will be totally fine. They'll probably be flourishing, actually. Happier in their lane. Number 1. Nostradamus was a French astrologer, physician, and probably history's most well-known seer. He's like the Michael Jordan of predicting cryptic doom sayings and warnings. He's the original doomsday prophet, and while thankfully none of his more apocalyptic predictions have happened yet, he's been disturbingly accurate for the last 6 centuries, and his predictions have enlightened us just as much as they have terrified us. He was able to predict things no one should have. Most recently, seemingly accurately predicting the circumstances surrounding the passing of Queen Elizabeth and her succession by Prince Charles. Nostradamus made many predictions, but one of his most jarring is this delightful little passage right here. For 40 years, the rainbow will not be seen. For 40 years, it will be seen every day. The dry earth will grow more parched, and there will be great floods when it is seen. Okay, so 40 years without Skittles, and then 40 years of Skittles. That is the sole thing he is referring to vis-a-vis rainbows, right? I wish. Now, some have theorized that this could be referring to the scorching of a world annihilated after a nuclear. But it's also possible that it could be referring to a natural collapse of the world, from the climate changing worryingly fast in a lot of ways that are becoming increasingly difficult to control. 2022, for example, was the 6th hottest record year in human history, with countries across the globe experiencing record-breaking heat waves. The Antarctic sea ice hit another record low, and it might be hard to take that in any other way than the most pessimistic option, because it does kind of sound like the earth is going to grow dry and somehow also start overflowing with floods, and we're all going to start having to fight wars over water like we're in Mad Max. Much like what Baba Vanga was speaking of, things are getting dangerously close regarding climate change across the globe. Unlike most doomsday prophecies, this one has a very clear and concerning path that, unless we make some serious changes, could stand a dangerous chance